College is about living and learning. From academics to friends, Greek life to campus ministries, experiencing life to the fullest. Chronicling the times of Northwestern State University, this is Demon Life.
Hi, and welcome to another segment of Demon Life. I'm your host, Jeffrey Sholar. Today on Demon Life, we will be talking about the future developments and programs of both the Student Government Association and the Student Activities Board. My guests today are the lovely Kayla Wingfield and Genny Broggi. Hello, girls.
Hi.
Okay, we're just going to jump right into it. Kayla, what exactly are you on the SGA?
Well, I am the current student body president. My job description is basically to be the external liaison, whereas the vice president of the Student Government Association is responsible for keeping the Senate running smoothly on a day-to-day basis. The president is responsible for, if the Senate makes a bill, say, well, we want to thank Ms. Angela Spann for all the service that she's provided to the students. Well, then they write that bill, and I'm the one that writes the note and delivers it, things like that. So.
And Genny, what exactly is your position on the Student Activities Board?
I am the Special Events Coordinator for the Student Activities Board. I get to plan the wonderful 2 weeks of NSU's biggest events, which are Homecoming Week, which just passed, and then our Spring Fling Week in the spring semester. And I also do other side events, and I serve on the executive board where I have 14 representatives under me that help me plan those events, so I'm not doing it all by myself.
Okay, so Kayla, I know that when you ran for student, for SGA president, you promised, more internal growth within the association. What exactly have you done to promote that internal growth or to make that happen?
Well, that's a good question. Initially, part of our platform was that we were going to have an RSO liaison, whereas it would be an external person in the cabinet whose job is to solely go out amongst the RSOs and find out what the issues are and then bring them back to the SGA so that we can assign a senator or a group of senators to work on it. However, what we've done now, instead of that, because we thought that that was such an important position, is that we've added it to the vice president's duties. And we're just going to see how well that works out and if it's just kind of accomplishing what we wanted to. And if so, then at the next election in the spring, that will be put before the student body, because that would be a constitutional change which requires a vote of the student body. Another thing that I've done this year is really push for the senators to go out amongst the students and find out what the students' beliefs are on the issues that we have to tackle.
Okay. With the RSO representative or liaison, would that be a part of the executive board or just a regular member of the association?
Well, it would have been a member that would have been in the cabinet along with the executives, the Supreme Court Chief Justice, as well as the advisor. However, we decided that that was too important a job, and so we assigned it to the vice president instead.
Okay, and these senators that have been going out and conducting polls, what exactly have these polls been about? Like, what are the senators wanting to know from the students?
Okay, well, I've assigned them 3 polls, and they have 1 poll due at the end of every week. So on Friday, they are to hand it in to me by 5 o'clock, and then by the 7 o'clock meeting on Monday, I've compiled all the results into a pie chart. The first poll was on the student union. I was approached by the administration and well, actually, I'm a senior anyway, so I'd seen the problems myself. I know that on the 3rd floor of the student union, there's no air conditioning. I know that the ceiling's falling down in many places, including my office. So that's something that I've seen the budgets, and I know that there's no money to fix it. So since it's a student union, I just wanted to see what the students would be in favor of doing, whether they'd be in favor of having a smaller fee to fix the repairs, or if they thought, just scrap it, let's have a whole big fee and get a new student union and tear this old one down.
Okay. When exactly would, I know that I was approached about the smaller fees and the bigger fees, but I was kind of a little vague on the details because they told me that they weren't quite sure when this new union would be built. Are there any updates about that exactly, when the new union, if the students vote on the bigger fees, can be built, you know, on campus?
Well, that's something that would be included in the fee proposal. This is the very ground floor. Like, this is before we do anything. I wanted to find out exactly what the students thought about it. If they want a smaller fee, then there's no sense in me assigning a senator to write up a huge fee for a new student union. And students are like, I'm not going to pay $200-something for a new student union that I don't get to see in my lifetime, or not lifetime, but time here in Demon Land. So, I got the results of that poll, and out of the 521 students that have been asked so far, 368 of those students responded that they would prefer the smaller fee, versus 138 students that were in favor of a larger fee, and then a few students responded neither, that just leave it the way it is, it's awesome.
Okay. And Genny, since we're on Based in the Union, I know that the Student Activities Board office is located. If, let's just say for a fact, if they revamped the union, what would you like to see changed within, like, the location of the office? What do you think would be good?
With it being in the general vicinity with all the offices they have in there, I would like the SAB office to be a lot bigger, because we do have computers in there that we're trying to do PR and make banners and signs, and there's not a lot of accessibility to do the things that we have to do to get our events out there on campus, as far as storage and the decorations that we have for all the events. Like, it's hard for us to manage and put it all together in that small space. And plus, we do kind of, there's only a door between SAB and SGA, so it kind of disrupts them and it disrupts us every now and then. But we make it work. But I just would like to see a bigger office and just like maybe a craft room, so we can have like more supplies to bring new things to students.
Kayla, basically the same question. What about what would you like to see, like, with the new SGA office if they did revamp the union?
Just a slightly bigger space. We have 30 senators, that are supposed to serve the entirety of the student body, and we have in excess of 6,000 students on this campus. So it'd be nice to have a little breathing room. I mean, the offices of the other executive members are rather small. Some of them used to be closets, so that would be nice too. But just a little more room, and preferably a few more computers, because we have only 3 right now.
Would the ceiling also be done? Because I know you mentioned that it would be falling in your office, so that would be part of it.
Oh, definitely. That's kind of a health hazard too. So.
Right. Okay. And Genny, just another quick question for you. You know how you wanted, like, the bigger office and the craft room and more storage. Basically, would you like that to be 2 separate offices for SAB, or just like a huge facility? I was a little confused on that.
I think it would be better if it was 2 separate offices. That way we could split it up and have not just a mixture and get things crowded, because, like, you don't want to have paint and stuff with the computer stuff and the printer stuff, so it would be good if we could have 2 offices. And then for as, like, SGA has their executive office in there and they have their own room and stuff like that, it could be nice if the president could have their own office just to do the things that they need to do. But I think 2 rooms would be better, definitely.